My uncle traveled with Smokey back in the day. He was the first superstar I knew that I could touch, that I knew has traveled the world long before me. He played percussion and sang background with Smokey. He's on the album cover with the treehouse, when everybody's in the treehouse. Yeah. My uncle was in that cover. So to see him and know this is the guy that comes to Thanksgiving dinner, it was kind of amazing. So to know that actually, we share the same blood. And when he's gone, he don't know I'm singing my tail off trying to be as good or greater than, and knowing that inspired me. That was like my first musical hero, you know what I mean? Seeing him in California, seeing him come to my sessions, it's like a dream come true to me. My mom, she was a choir director, she sang in the choir. My dad did the same thing. My oldest brother played drums, my middle brother played drums and sing. Oldest brother ended up singing. So I got bit by all these different bugs. So music was like the best forced relationship I could ever be in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I wouldn't divorce it for nothing in the world.
Yeah, I think my family was very musical. My dad played guitar a little bit, sang blues, you know, but my dad always said he had 3 jobs since he was 11 years old. Yeah. So he had, it was a lot of kids, 14 of us, and I was the youngest boy. My brother played guitar, and my uncle played guitar, and he sang quartet in Louisiana. Yeah. So he was one of my first influences, my uncle Elijah Baker. And then there's this guy, Roy's got to be like now 70, maybe 78. Yeah. He was the first group I ever played in. He's a huge influence on me. I talk to him every day. Yeah. He's the first guy who put me on the mic to sing tenor in this group when everybody was singing, you know, 2 octaves high. So really, the tenor voice was really like the baritone, like the first tenor. Yeah. And he was really responsible for a lot of things I sing now. The more bluesier stuff I sing now is because of this guy, Roy Tyler, and my uncle. And my dad was a huge Bobby Blue Bland fan, and my mom was in the Al Green, but my mom was at, you know, church on Sunday, blues on Monday. Yeah. So I had the best of both worlds. But that was I think that was a musical influence of going fishing with my parents, because that's what, you know, that's what they did. But my neighborhood, I will say this, I was far from the most talented in my neighborhood. My neighborhood has so many talented people. This guy, Robert Ball, was the best, baddest bass player. Yeah. Daryl Coley was from around my way. Freddie Jackson, who played Patrice Rush, and you know, of course, you know, Sly and the Family Stone, Larry Graham from Oakland. But it was so many people that people didn't get to meet. That you know, you see guys just riding. But they're like, I remember the first time I found out about Jimi Hendrix. This guy named Dwayne, we called him Big Dwayne because my brother was Little Dwayne. Yeah. Big Dwayne that got bad off on some drugs, but he used to always ride around a 10-speed with his Stratocaster guitar strapped to his back. Oh, yeah. And he was always telling us about Jimi Hendrix, and I had to be maybe like 11 years old. I didn't know who Jimi Hendrix was. And then my uncle went to the military, and he sent us pictures back home. And I seen in his barracks, I saw this picture of Jimi Hendrix on a poster in the back. So now I've seen a picture, and I've seen this dude, Big Dwayne, talk about Jimmy. So it was so many people in the neighborhood. It was every garage that you would pass by, it was a band in every single garage. Like
That's the way it used to be in Plainfield.
Natalie Cole's band was in the garage, you know, Graham was there, which is so many bands. And I think that's my biggest influence was really the streets of, like, you know, Oakland and San Francisco.
Well, my influence was my mother and father. She used to sing gospel. Around my house, when we were little, back in North Carolina, I think it was kind of hard back then, the mid-50s. There wasn't too much for a man of color to do, work-wise. So my dad had to, you know, he did a little farming, did a little everything. And he had to work in construction away from home a lot. But I remember prior to him starting to work in construction, he was trying to keep a roof over our heads. So on Friday and Saturday nights, our house turned into like a little speakeasy because he was selling, like, you know, corn liquor. and they were selling like barbecue and stuff. So we had a lot of folks to come over. And I remember, like as a kid, about 6 years old, listening to Jimmy Reed, and my dad had a nice stereo system. They entertained, you know, he had a lot of guests on Friday and Saturday night, my dad and my mother. And selling the sandwiches and stuff, and the corn, liquor, and the beer. So in our bed, I remember the bass of like the juke joint bass. You know how you can hear a jukebox way off of a distance where you can just hear the bass pumping? Mm-hmm. I went to sleep with that rhythm. So that was an influence. I hear that rhythm when I sing now. And then on Sunday, my mother, she get in the church and she's singing in the choir. So it didn't make sense to me to see some of the same women that would be there dancing like wild and crazy on Friday and Saturday. And then to see them in church, now they got their hands stuck up like this. I used to wonder, what in the world were they looking? I used to look up in the church, what they looking for up there? They had their hands stuck up. So my world was torn between gospel and secular music. You know, they hear Friday and Saturday. And to make a long story short, Daddy gave that up a few years after he started, and started to work off away from home and in construction. So he found a better way. But that really had an influence on me, because I can still feel that gospel rhythm, and I can still feel that juke joint guy. Mm. So I guess I'm a cross between a juke joint guy and a preacher. So I'm like torn between. So I pray that I just continue to try to just do the right thing. You know, just been yeah.